Good morning. How are we doing today? It is morning. I got my coffee. Good to see you guys again. I am doing another reaction video. This one has been requested by most of you several times over the weeks. I haven't got around to it yet, but this one is when God, I can't talk. You can tell it's morning. I can't talk yet. But when can I ever? Because I'm a Muppet. This is when Britain nuked America twice. Now, I don't know if this is going to be comedic or this is something that actually happened in history. If it is, I'm always down to learn about some of that. I have no idea. This is by Mark Felton Productions. But let's see how it goes. Hopefully this is something... I'm thinking this is something that actually happened. Well, obviously we didn't get nuked twice for real. But I'm thinking this is maybe like some kind of military exercise that happened so many years ago to kind of expose our weaknesses. You know, maybe something like that. I don't know. But let me stop blabbering. Let's check out the video. When Britain nuked America twice. That's a pretty aircraft.
In the 1960s, Great Britain nuked the United States not once, but twice. Fortunately for all concerned, the attacks were only training exercises.
I like to scroll across the bottom.
So embarrassing were these attacks that they were hidden from the American public for about 50 years, as well as being strenuously denied to the American press for decades.
That sounds about right.
As far as America was concerned, its defenses were 99% effective, but in simulated attacks, Royal Air Force bombers managed to penetrate US airspace to launch nuclear attacks on New York City and several other important urban centers. Before I tell you how, a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you...
Okay, so it seems like this did actually happen. As an exercise, of course. Which, now, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention. Because I've never heard of this before, and, you know, I love history, so... Any history I don't know is going to pique my interest, that's for sure.
You by Curiosity Stream, the subscription streaming service created by the
Sorry,
founder
Mark,
of
I
the
gotta
Discovery
skip
Channel,
through this.
Itinerary,
Trying to get to the
lineup
bread
process.
and butter.
Curiosity Stream, the best streaming
Curiosity
service
Stream.
for lovers of history. How did the British manage to penetrate the world's most heavily defended airspace? The answer is surprisingly simple and consists of two words: Avro-Vulcan.
Avro-Vulcan. Wow, look at that. That is a sick-looking aircraft. I've never heard of the Vulcan. Although I'm not too too knowledgeable about aircraft. I know like a few, but that is a gorgeous-looking aircraft. Look at that. Looks scary, too. As Chattanooga Chad would say, sounds like freedom.
The Vulcan first flew in 1952. The team that created it, led by Roy Chadwick, who had designed the famous Lancaster heavy bomber of World War II. A jet-powered, tailless, delta-wing, high-altitude strategic bomber, the Vulcan was the backbone of Britain's nuclear airborne deterrent during most of the Cold War, serving from 1956
Damn, I like the color patterns on it too. That's pretty dope. So it's the backbone of their nuclear arsenal.
This is the story of Exercise Sky Shield, when Britain nuked its closest ally, exposing how the Soviet Union could have done the same for real. In 1960, the United States decided to run the largest test of its air
What's Pine
defenses
Tree?
in
What is that? Pine Tree? It's just taking up like half of Canada. It just says Pine Tree. There's got to be something to that. I know it just doesn't mean there's a bunch of pine trees there, which there are, but I don't know. This is a different looking map. It looks like some kind of general military map. I don't know.
history. Exercise Sky Shield 1 occurred on the 10th of September 1960, and all commercial air traffic over the US and Canada was grounded, amounting to 1,000 US commercial flights and 700 general aviation aircraft, plus a further 31 foreign flights due to land in North America. The US Strategic Air Command would launch B-52 Stratofortresses and B-47 Stratojets to simulate a massive Soviet nuclear bomber force approaching North America from north and south. 360 US interceptor aircraft stood ready to defeat these enemy aircraft,
Wow.
which numbered 310. Among those 310 aircraft were 8 Royal Air Force Vulcan B-2 nuclear bombers. A flight of 4 flew from Scotland, while the other 4 launched from the British territory of Bermuda in the Atlantic Ocean. The American plan was to detect these enemy bombers by radar and other early warning systems. Then they would be intercepted and destroyed in simulated attacks by US jet fighters and missile batteries. The attacking bombers split their attacks between high and low altitude. The defending fighters did very well against the Stratojets and Stratofortresses, intercepting many of them, but the Vulcans proved more elusive opponents. The Vulcan flew at the highest altitude of the simulated Soviet bombers, cruising at 56,000 feet. One was successfully intercepted at this altitude over Goose Bay, Labrador, by a United States Air Force F-101 Voodoo, but the other 7 Vulcans all managed to penetrate American airspace to launch simulated bombing attacks on US cities.
Wow. So, the American government is boasting that their air defenses in case of a nuclear attack is 99% effective. And the British, remember it's an exercise, send 8 Vulcans after us, and we only intercept 1. So it sounds to me like it's 12.5% effective. That's not good. That is not good. Thanks to the Brits, they always keep us on our toes, man.
They then turned around and landed at Stephenville, Newfoundland.
I can't get over how sweet that aircraft looks.
The question was,
beautiful.
How had the Vulcan managed it? The answer was their highly advanced electronic countermeasures systems and the Vulcan's amazing maneuverability. For example, the flight of 4 aircraft that approached from Bermuda were successful because 3 of them put up a wall of electronic interference that prevented interception, while the 4th Vulcan carried out a simulated nuclear strike. This was all rather embarrassing for Strategic Air Command, which quickly buried all stories about British bombers having nuked US targets and confidently assured the American public that US air defenses were, as I said, 99% effective.
Yeah, well, they're not. See, that's the funny part to me is like they kept it secret from us all these years, which makes sense. You know, the government here, they keep secret a lot of things from us, and it is what it is. But that's something that where I would be like, yeah, no wonder they kept it secret, because they boast that it's 99% effective, and it's not. It's not even close. So that's yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. But thankfully, it was the Brits that did it to us, just to say, hey, you Muppets, get your act together, or else if this was for real, we'd all be dead. So
However, the following year, the Americans invited the RAF to take part in Exercise Sky Shield 2. Perhaps the USAF was determined to show that the Vulcan's previous success was only a fluke, a one-time only event.
I'm guessing it wasn't a fluke.
Which occurred on the 14th of August 1961, was an even bigger event than the first one. It caused 2,900 US and Canadian flights to be grounded, affecting 125,000 commercial passengers.
Wow!
During the exercise, 125 US and British bombers would be pitted against 1,800 fighters and 250 missile sites, and over 200,000 Air Force personnel from the US and Canada.
Just from the logistics of this sounds like these exercises cost a lot of money just to do. I mean, they said they did it one year, and then the next year they did it again. But just judging from the maths from Mr. Mark Felton explaining it to us, it sounds like this exercise would have cost a ton of money just to do. Maybe one of you guys, if you know about this event, can tell me how much it cost each government, because that's a lot of money. That looks like a B-52. I do know that aircraft, or at least I think I do. Maybe it's not a B-52, but it looks like a B-52.
Coming up on 16.5 seconds. Now, continuing. Yeah, but I'm still ready now. Brace up hard here. Come up.
All the smoke coming out of that.
6 up, standing by flaps.
Again, 8 Vulcan B-2s participated, split again into 2 flights. One attacking on the northern route from RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland via Canada, and the other 4 aircraft on a southerly route from Kindley Air Force Base, Bermuda.
That's such a cool aircraft.
The B-47 Stratojets simulated low-level Soviet bombers. The B-52s would attack between 35,000 and 42,000 feet, while the Vulcans again operated at the highest altitude, 56,000 feet. At the massive NORAD, or North American Air Defense Bunker at Colorado Springs, the US top brass was joined by the RAF's Air Marshal.
I feel like there's a lot of US government stuff in Colorado Springs. I feel like they keep a lot of stuff in there. Maybe there's other installations that they have there, but I don't know. Maybe that's just because I watch a lot of movies. It seems like there's been several times in movies where these military installations that the U.S. government has are in Colorado somewhere. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Sorry, let's continue.
Sir Kenneth Cross of Bomber Command, and Sir Wallace Kyle, Chief of the RAF Technical Training
Look at
Command.
him. He's like, yeah, you Americans don't know what you're doing. I'm going to teach you how to do it. Get ready, you Muppets.
To monitor the exercise. Just before 2 p.m., US interceptors pounced on the B-52s, approaching at the mid to high altitude level. The Vulcans also came in from the north, and again, due to the Vulcans' high-tech jamming equipment, only one was shot down by an F-101 Voodoo fighter. In fact, large numbers of US fighters were scrambled, but they concentrated almost exclusively on the B-52s. When the Vulcans came over, the interceptors did not have sufficient fuel remaining to climb to 56,000 feet plus and engage them. The surviving 3 Vulcans conducted their attacks successfully, turned around and landed at Stephenville, Newfoundland. The southern attack force of 4 Vulcans from Bermuda reached a position 50 miles off the US coast before fighters were scrambled to intercept. Again, 3 of the Vulcans unleashed an electronic jamming screen that kept the attacking F-102 Delta daggers busy, while the 4th aircraft crept round to the north and sneaked through.
Wow.
This Vulcan proceeded to land at Plattsburgh Air Force Base in New York. if this had been a real attack, New York City could have been reduced to a smoking, irradiated hole in the ground.
In other words, vaporized. So it sounds like 7 of the 8 Vulcans were successful again, a year later. Well, that's why we have you guys as allies, to keep us on our toes and to point out when we don't have our stuff together. You guys were probably sitting in your, the people in the Royal Air Force, they were probably like sitting behind their desks, like at the consoles and stuff. As soon as this was going off, like, you know, all right, we're ready to do the training size with the Americans. Are you guys ready? And the guy behind the console is probably like, oh, they're going to be so stupid. Which is all in good fun. God, I can't talk today. This is what I get for making videos in the morning.
Many of the stratojets and stratofortresses had also managed to evade interception and launch simulated nuclear attacks, but not at the kind of success rate that the Vulcans enjoyed. In 2 massive exercises, of 8 Vulcans that attacked on each occasion, 7 had got through to their targets, an astounding survival rate against the huge might of the US air defenses.
In short, don't mess with the Vulcan. I'm sure they're not, like, actually using these anymore, but look, it's such a sweet-looking aircraft.
The Vulcans showed that with the right aircraft, America could be laid wide open to a nation-ending assault, something which the Soviet Union would have been very interested in. Fortunately for all concerned, the relationship between Britain and the United States never changed from special to decidedly antagonistic, and the Vulcans never came in anger. The American government also tried to make damn sure that nobody ever found out about the Vulcans nuking American cities.
Yeah.
The US Air Force was very quick to deny rumors that RAF planes had once again successfully penetrated US airspace. In fact, the US government went so far as to classify all references to Vulcans included in the Sky Shield exercises. After all, if the RAF could practice nuke New York City, Washington, D.C., and even Chicago, the Soviets could do the same, if they could develop an aircraft as good as the Vulcan. As far as Strategic Air Command was concerned, the Vulcan episodes had never happened, and the US was well protected, and that protection, as I said, 99% effective. The Vulcans' successful attacks on America were only fully declassified in 1997, long after the Vulcan had left British service.
Wow. And look, he's aboard a
Many
Vulcan.
thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
Thank you,
share,
Mark.
and
I
also
will
visit
subscribe.
my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton.
That was
Also help
very
to support
interesting.
Both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.
And you guys should go check out his channel too, because I'm going to. That was very interesting, and it seems legit, and it, you know, I love history, and this is something that I never heard of. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I'm gonna throw you a subscription right now. There you go. I think we got 1.66 million. That's a lot. Well, you probably deserve it with a video like that. It was very educational. It was funny at times, especially at the end, because I know as an American citizen that my government is keeping stuff from me all the time. So that was not a shock. It's just, you know, I laugh because it's like business as usual. But I also understand, I'm actually sympathetic towards my government doing that, because the Brits showed us that our air defense system during a nuclear attack was shite, as they would say. But yeah, it was a good video, and I had no idea about the Vulcan aircraft, which makes me want to learn about that. And yeah, they exposed us. They exposed us badly. And but that's what the special relationship, the Great Alliance, whatever you want to call it. That's why we love you guys. You guys keep us on our toes. make sure we're in tip-top shape for when the real stuff goes down. What else did I find interesting about it? The logistics of the exercises are perplexing to me because it seems like it must have cost an insane amount of money to do, and it looks like it inconvenienced, especially that second exercise. It inconvenienced 125,000 commercial passengers aboard the planes because all those planes were grounded during this exercise. That's insane. It's wild. I don't think you could get away with doing that today. Not only because of the outrage it would cause, but I don't know. I feel like everybody would just be uptight about it. Why are you guys grounding all my flights? But yeah, in order to do an exercise like that, I guess you have to treat it like it's the real thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed that video, and I kind of want to check out more of Mark Felton's stuff now, because I had no idea about this. But you guys suggested it over the weeks. A bunch of you guys did. I finally done it. So that's that. All right, thank you guys. Queen Boomer will be back soon, I promise. We were supposed to do a video last night, but we were both really exhausted from work, so I'll get her on soon. I promise. I've actually got a list of videos lined up for just me and her to do together. So, all right, thank you guys. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want. This is King Boomer. Hop on over to Mark Felton Productions and throw him a like and a subscription too, because that was really really informative. I love his voice too. I think I prefer British voices on historical content. I don't know. It's just, it puts you more at ease and makes you pay more attention, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. But yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Be on the lookout for more videos and more content than just reaction videos, because I like putting up other stuff too. All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a great day.